This is another quick step-by-step tutorial that explains the basic, some of the basic concepts in word processing, focusing on Microsoft Word. Okay, so today we'll be talking about tables, how to insert and format tables in Microsoft Word. Actually, we have 6 different methods. Okay, 7 actually, but the last one would just be copy and paste, which I might talk about briefly at the end of this video. But first of all, we have 6 different methods you can insert tables in Microsoft Word. First of all, we have the table field selector, we have insert table, draw table, convert text to table, Excel spreadsheet, and quick tables. All right. So first of all, let's begin with the table field selector, which is the most widely used method, especially if you are inserting a smaller table, okay, with not too many fields. So first of all, I want to insert a table, or all right, a simple table, maybe displaying the top 5 most in 2025, okay, by population, by number of users. Okay, the top 5 most used Microsoft Office tools in 2025 by number of users. Okay, so I'm going to add average here, though this is just going to be a sample data, not real data. Okay, so I'm going to come over here. This is the title of our table, so I'll come over here to the bottom and I'll say using the first method, table field selector, I'm going to go over to insert, and then now notice something about tables, not just tables but anything at all. Before you insert anything on your document, you are going to need to place your cursor in the right place where you want your inserted object to appear. Okay, so if I place my cursor here, it means I'm about to insert a table right there. So always pay attention to the position of your cursor. So right here where my cursor is, that's where I want my table to appear. So I'll go to insert, and then I have table right there, so I'm going to click on that. And then right here you have the insert table method, which I call the table field selector, but it's actually the insert table method. So now it depends on the number of rows and number of columns you are going to need on this table. Like, I'm about to enter the top 5 most used Microsoft Office tools in 2025 by number of users. So it means that I'm going to need at least 5 rows, okay, and at least 2 columns, okay. But a better approach is I'm going to instead use 1 row, 2 row, 3 row, 4 row, 5 rows, 6 rows. I'm actually going to need 6 rows because the first row is going to contain the headings of my table, and then I'll need about 3 columns. So this is 6 rows, and then 1 column, 2 column, and 3 columns. All right. So once I hover on this, I'm going to tap on it or click on it to insert my table. Okay, so these are my 3 columns and my 6 rows on my table. So I can start with let's say rank or serial number, tool or application, and then finally average number of users, in millions. Yeah. Okay, so first of all, let's see some of the ways we can format this table before we try to enter the data. So first of all, I'm going to adjust the column width. If I feel that the rank column is too wide, this is just going to contain numbers, so I'm going to reduce the width of this column. To do that, I'll come over to this line, place my cursor anywhere on this line right here, hold it and then drag it all the way to the left, press the left mouse button and drag to the left. This is going to adjust the column width. Okay, similarly you can do the same for row height. If you want to adjust row height of any row, you can easily do that. Okay, but it's not smart, it's not wise to use different heights on the rows, though it depends on the content of the row. But for this kind of table we're about to insert, or we just inserted, I don't think we need to use, we are supposed to use different heights on the row. Instead, if I feel that the table is too small. I need to increase the space between the rows. All I can what I'm supposed to do is I'm going to highlight everything, then come over to home, row line and paragraph spacing, and then increase the spacing. This is going to give me more space there, all right, on my table, right there. Okay, so coming back, I can also do this. Okay, same thing, is going to do that. It's also going to increase the height of the row. All right, so I'm going to add the rank 1 2 3 4 5 right there. Now, next thing I can do is that I can actually change the alignment of these numbers. I can highlight all the numbers, come over to alignment right here. I can align it to the right, to the center, to the left of the column. All right, so I think I'm going to align this to the center of the column, and then come over to the tools. Before we enter the data, I'll just come over here to the bottom, assuming that I need more than five tools. I want to enter more than 5 tools, maybe something like a total, or add another tool to make it 6 or 7. I'm going to need to add a new row at the bottom here. Okay, so to do that, I'll just place my cursor at the left edge here, and then tap on it. It's going to add a new row. Same thing, I'll tap on this again and again to create more rows. Similarly, you can do the same thing for columns. So I can come over here. All right, I want to insert a new column between tools and number of users, so I'll come over here and add a new column. Okay, so that's how you increase the number of rows and columns on your table while working, just in case you need more. Okay, so this is the insert table method, or the table field selector method. Just insert your table. Okay, next thing, I'm going to style this table, even though I'm yet to insert the data, that's the tools and the number of users average. Okay, so I can style this table before typing, or I can style it after typing my data. Okay, so let's do it before entering the data. So I can tap anywhere on this table, go to table design, and then tap on the more table styles. Okay, right here, if I tap on it or click on it, it's going to give me different table styles I can use. It depends on the color, the theme I'm using on my document. Okay, so don't just pick a random color. Your color choice should depend on the theme of your document, or the brand you are representing on this document. Okay, so I'm going to pick a color from here. Let's say this one, and select that. This is going to give me that table styling. Okay, so I'll just enter some random tools, Microsoft Office tools. Let's say Microsoft Word, okay, Excel, PowerPoint, Access, okay, let's say Outlook and Access. Like I said, this data is just a dummy data. It's just a raw data. Okay, it's not confirmed. It's not confirmed data. Okay, so I'm going to come over to number of users and enter some random number of users. Let's say 903 million users, 877 users, 650 users, 643 users, and then 366 million users. All right, so this is how you enter and style your data on your table. I can also highlight this and then set the font color if I wish to change the font color, bold it, the formatting tools, right? So that is our table. Okay, so this is the normal first method, the insert table method, or table field selector. I can also add insert table method right here. Okay, actually we have the insert table at the bottom there, so let's just go straight to that. So insert table, how do we insert a table without using this grid selector? Okay, now what if I want to insert a table that has so many fields, like many rows or many columns? For example, I want to insert a table that has up to 200 or 500 or more rows, maybe a large table. Okay, so to do that, I'm not going to use this field selector, since this is limited to certain number of rows and columns I can use. So instead, I'm going to use the insert table method. Okay, so again, make sure you place your cursor where you want the table to be inserted, and then go over there and then select insert table. Now I would like to select, I'll have to select the number of columns and the number of rows I'm going to need on this table. So I'll add the number of columns, let's say 3 columns, and then number of rows, 300 rows on this table. Okay, I will leave the column to width to be fixed. I'm not going to change that. So I'll now tap OK. This is now going to insert my table containing 3 columns and 300 rows. You can see the size of the table from here. Okay, so you can insert as many rows and columns you need on your table by using the insert table method. Once again, you go to insert table and then insert table, then you select the number of rows and number of columns you need on the table. Okay, this is very quick. So I'm going to delete this table, delete table, and then let's go to the next method, which is draw table. Now normally I'm not going to recommend this method to you because this method is I wouldn't say stressful, but it takes more time. All right, not as straightforward as the first two methods. So once again I'll go to insert table, and then we have the draw table option here. Okay, so once I tap on draw table, I now have a pen or a pencil. I can now use it to draw my table from the scratch. Okay, draw that and then split it into rows. First of all, let's say I want 3 rows on this table, then split it into columns. This is 2 columns, 3 columns, 4 columns, and finally 5 columns. All right, so this is the draw table option. Now, when are you supposed to use this method? Of course, if you are okay, you can use this method, but you use this method when you want to design a custom table. All right, now what do I mean by custom table? Still using the insert table option, draw table option. If I come over to table layout and then I select eraser, okay, you can see the eraser right there. If I click on eraser, and I can come over here and use the eraser to clean this line. All right, and I am getting a custom design for my table. I can also clean this by dragging over it with the eraser. Okay, I can come over here and clean these 2 lines, and then this is a custom design for my table. Okay, so you use this method when you want a custom look or custom design for your table. All right, so that is how to use the insert. We have other options here that you can play around with and then see how they are or what they are used for. But I'm going to delete that table, and then we'll go to the next method, which is convert text to table. Now the convert text to table can also be found right here. Okay, but it's not going to be active. This is because you need to highlight the block of text that you are about to convert to table. Now you use this method when you already inserted your text, type your text normally, and you want to convert it to a table. Okay, so if I highlight this list, for instance, and then I come over here, you can see it is now active. All right, convert text to table. So I want to put this inside a table. I'm going to click on convert text to table, and then coming over here, number of columns, I'm going to leave it on 1 column. I need 1 column. All right, leave this on auto once again, and then set this, leave it a paragraph. So I'm going to click on OK. All right, this is going to put it inside a table. Since I have only 1 column, right, so put it inside a table automatically after typing your text. So that is the convert text to table. Now the next method, I'm not really going to talk about this much right here, Excel spreadsheet, but let's show you the interface, how it looks. So you use this method where you are about to insert a table that contains calculated data or calculations. You need to perform some basic or advanced calculations on your table. Even though you can still perform some calculations in your Microsoft Word table, if you go to table layout and then go to formula, yes, you can actually perform calculation here. Okay, but it's better you use some advanced calculation. You need Microsoft Excel for that. So you can just go to insert table and then select Excel spreadsheet. This is going to open an instance or an interface of Microsoft Excel right here in your Microsoft Word document, okay, where you can perform some basic or advanced calculation. You can see it right there. Okay, this is my Microsoft Excel interface. Almost everything you can do in Microsoft Excel, you can also do them right here. Okay, you can do them right here. So you can type, you can format. I mean, you can the only thing you can't do is actually the formatting, but you can adjust the sizes of your rows and columns right here. Then when you are done, you just come out, tap outside to confirm, take you to back to Microsoft Word. Okay, that's our Excel spreadsheet converted to a Microsoft Word table. All right, so if you want to go back and edit maybe the content, just double tap on it. It will take you back to the Microsoft Excel interface. Okay, so that is how you use the Excel spreadsheet. All right, so finally we are going to look at the quick tables. Now quick tables is going to give you table templates. Okay, it's going to show us some quick table templates that we can use. So if I drag down, I can see different templates I can select and edit. For instance, if I pick the matrix template, this is going to insert the table with the matrix style for me. All I have to do now is to edit the content of this table and enter my data. All right, I can also add more rows and columns as I explained earlier. I can also delete rows and columns. To delete this row, highlight the it, select delete cells, and then delete entire row, and okay, this is going to delete. Same goes for column. All right, so that is how you insert and format tables in Microsoft Word. All right, to stay up to date with other tips and tricks and concepts in word processing, Microsoft Word, and other topics like Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint, even coding. All right, we also upload do videos, create videos and upload them, so you can check our playlist or check other videos. All right, that will help you. So see you guys in the next video.